and welcome to Ditch Witch Diaries. We are back again doing trees, and I have a rather interesting tree today. It's one that you don't hear of a lot, but I'm excited to share it with you.
Very
So
nice.
let me just share my screen. It is the Baobab tree, and it is beautiful. It is amazing. It is amazing for so many reasons.
I don't think I
But,
know anything about this tree, actually.
well, hunker down.
Ready to learn.
Because we're going to explore everything there is about Baobab. It's amazing. I don't even know if there are any around here. They're not
Mhm.
native, they're certainly not native to America. So,
Mm.
so let's so it's Adansonia is the genus that or the larger whatever it is. Yeah, it's genus and then species. Yeah. So and then this is the botanical drawing. And this is what it looks like. So that's
Mm.
one kind of like, and then that's like another. You may have seen, yeah, you may have seen them like
Yeah.
this. They're so, we're going to talk about, they're, they're so big on the bottom. We'll just,
Mhm.
it's rad. So the parts used, every single part of this tree is used for something. We're going to talk about that. Other names are the upside down tree, the tree of life, the bottle tree, monkey bread tree, baobab, cream of tartar tree,
Mm.
dead rat tree, tabaldi, creme tart boom, mbuyu, gorak imli, hathi kadian, paparapuli, let's see, Puliya Marum, and I think I did Tabaldi twice, and Gao.
Mm.
So the correspondences, and it's got some interesting correspondences. So the element is water and air, and we're going to see why. It's because it stores a ton of water, and we're going to talk about that. So also it doesn't neatly sit. It's not. It's from Africa, and well, I shouldn't say that. It's not all from Africa. There's only three places where you find this tree, and Africa is one of them, and Australia is one of them, and I think it's Madagascar. We'll talk about it. Is the other one. There's three places that you find this tree, and none of them translate neatly into our Western ideas of correspondences or how we do it. So we're going to kind of translate this in another way to a different system. So there's an astrological in African astrology. It's a tree for a certain month, like there is for the Ogham trees, but this is in African astrology. So the Baobab tree is the tree for January 4th to February 3rd for that month.
Mm.
The tarot, and I feel like I did this just because I like tarot. So it's called the upside down tree because it looks like the roots are in the sky, and there's all sorts of stories about this. So I thought like it's upside down. So the hangman is pretty appropriate for it.
Nice.
And also Empress because it is a protective mother. It
Mm.
is a strength giver. It's a giver of life. So strength could be it too, but I like Empress for it as well.
Mm.
And chakra, I did this as well, but also it is from the I mean, so kind of the chakra system is from Asia and from India. So we can see a little bit of this tie in here. It's not just completely like putting some new system on it. So I would say it's definitely the root chakra because it's a tree that's tied to like your basic needs, food, stability, grounding, all those good root chakra things.
Mm.
And there are goddesses that are tied to it, but it's probably goddesses that, if you're watching this, you may not have ever heard of. Maybe you have, but even in America, I feel like in hoodoo or voodoo traditions, I feel like these are actually like African goddesses. These are not necessarily even ones that have translated to African American traditions. They've, so how do I say? Like, okay, I'll just do this with Catholicism because it's easiest to realize. So there are some traditions that when they come to a new place, they kind of overlay that new place.
Mm.
So, or they're changed in some way that is meaningful to the place where they're at. So, or people come to a new place and they bring their traditions and their traditions are changed, one or the
Mm.
other. So that's like a regular occurrence in the transmigration of human beings. So Catholicism is one of them. Everywhere Catholicism goes, the saints, like the gods and the goddesses of that location, are transmuted into the saints of Catholicism. So that's one way that it goes. But then this is another way. So the gods and goddesses of Africa have, when they come to, when the African people have come to America, it's the same way. Like they've kind of transmuted into something different, even though it's the same. It's a little, so anyway, that's
But you're saying that they haven't really done that with these goddesses?
they're just, it's not the same. It's like saying
Mm.
Saint Benedict, but
Mm.
who is that in where
Ah,
somewhere else that we don't
yeah,
know? Like maybe we can one for one it, but
yeah,
maybe not.
yeah.
Maybe, you know,
Like
like
the Greek and Roman deities are often like very
same
like
same
carbon
thing.
copies.
And
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
easier with Greek and Romans because sometimes they even keep the same names but twist
Mm.
them a little bit. So
Yeah, yeah.
they sometimes not, but sometimes so. So and anyway, so but these are like African God, as far as I know, as far as I'm can have read about, these are African goddesses. So Ninevanu Ma, and Ma is the African creator goddess who brought order to the cosmos. And she was made of living silver. And she, like, so there's a, her baobab tree creature husband, they brought, and her brought all the life into the world.
Mm.
So that's how she's connected to that. And
Mm.
then Mojaji is a rain queen in South Africa. And so, and she, like, so some of these goddesses are tied to even specific locations. So it would be hard to, like, you know, like
Mm.
they're like location specific even.
Mm.
So, like, she has a valley. So Mojaji has a valley in South Africa, and it's home to like this enormous sunland big baobab, which is a massive tree, and it's been carbon dated to 6,000 years old. It even so the trunk is hollowed out, and there's an actual bar or a pub inside the hollowed out trunk. So
Nice.
so those are like the two goddesses I could see that were tied to the baobab tree, and they're like, so anyway, there you go. And then they have like, so this tree not only is it a tree for astrological sign, but it has like these signs, astrological signs have like a sense that's attached to them, and this one is smell.
Mm.
And the lucky day is Thursday. The body part is the liver. So there we go.
Mm.
Different correspondences for different locations. We adapt. So the plant information. So there, and this is where we get into this. So there's 8 species of baobab. And so there's the Adansonia digitata in Africa, like in African, and
Mm.
that is African. There's the Adansonia gregori, which is Australian. So there's one from Africa, one from Australia, and those are kind of the most well known. But there's 6 different baobab trees in species in Madagascar. So
Mm.
there's one from mainland Africa, one from Australia, and 6 from Madagascar.
Mm.
The 2 that are most well known are from Africa and Australia, the digitata and the Grigori. So baobab trees, they thrive in these warm tropical climates and they like temperatures 65 to 80 degrees. They do not like the cold. So they're not set up for the Pacific Northwest. Probably most places in America are probably get
Mm,
a little too cold.
yeah.
Like I think every place in America gets a little too cold. Even I was thinking in like Florida, even down here, we get below 65, and I'm in Southern California, like the bottom tip. Even
Yeah.
in Texas, even in Florida, it's a little cold for this tree. So
Mm,
we're not going to see this tree in America, like United States of America, I should say.
mm,
Um, yeah. So it obviously, like you saw, it gets really, really big. You could have a pub inside it,
mm,
inside its trunk. The trunk gets huge, okay? And they can live, like we saw that one that was carbon dated to 6,000 years old. So most of them live 3,000 or even 5,000 years old. At least they used to. And we're going to talk about some of the problems facing the baobab tree right now. But that it used to be they were really, really old trees. And this tree's been around for a long time. Like way longer than humans, okay? It's been here for over 200 million years, this tree. So it's an elderly tree,
mm.
old and wise.
Crone tree, if you will.
Exactly, a crone tree. So they have flowers, but the flowers bloom at night and they're pollinated by bats.
Ooh.
Exactly, which is always a lovely thing. And the reason why it's called the cream of tartar tree was because it originally, before we started making um, cream of tartar from the winemaking process, it was produced like there was like acidic. There was the seed pulp of the baobab tree is acidic, and we
Mm,
used cream of tartar. And I think cream of tartar is the one that stabilizes egg whites. Stabilizing egg whites, yes.
mm,
So that's what it's used for. And they use it in the creation of baking powder as well.
mm,
It prevents the crystallization of sugar. So if you're making candy making, sometimes they use cream tartar, but regardless, it used to be used for cream of tartar, but now we get cream of tartar from our wine making process. So
The like
more,
seeds of the grape, I imagine.
it's because, yeah, the acidity. Yeah,
Mm,
I don't know what it is, but it's obviously acidic. It's about the pH. That's why
mm,
it works the way it is the pH. So more
mm,
plant information. So the baobab tree, it is vital to the entire African ecosystem. They help soil conditions, humidity, they aid nutrient recycling, they slow soil erosion. They're we'll talk about more about it, but there's even more. So that's just like about the ground and how it works in the ground because it is really a succulent, which is so
mm,
weird. And it is a source of water. It holds so much water. It's a source of water for humans, animals, everyone. Like it collects water inside it. I think it said it can hold like 1,000 gallons of water at a time.
mm,
And so it's so big because all it grows like all these stems up and then they fuse together. So that's why
mm,
it's so like big around the outside. And so there's so many things that you can do with this. Okay? So like I said, not only is it a water source, the pulp can be eaten. The pulp can be like pounded, and you can create ropes and mats, baskets, and cloth with it. The leaves can be boiled and eaten. The flower pollen can be used as glue. It's really a useful tree for life in the African savanna
mm,
as well as other places, Madagascar, Australia. So the fruit, obviously, it was so acidic, so that's why cream of tartar. But the fruit, that's the seed that was used for cream of tartar.
mm.
But the fruit is also rich in vitamin C and calcium. So we've got another thing. Um, And it can take these older trees, they don't mature fast. So it can take up to 200 years before this tree will even produce fruit.
Hmm. My squirrel's here.
Of course it is. So this is what I was hinting at. The baobab tree is struggling.
Hmm.
It's struggling everywhere that it's found, and a lot they don't know why. They're like they think it's of course it's climate change. There's something going on that's strange, but these trees that have been around for 200 million years are the oldest ones are dying at a rapid pace. Um,
Hmm.
they even and you think, oh well, young ones are growing, but the young ones are struggling too.
Hmm.
And so it's like it should give people pause. And I think the personal is political, if you've ever heard that term. And so if this is personal to you, or Baobab is personal, or anything like humanity and life and plants are personal to you, then it's political. And it's political because we make laws that screw around with the climate. Like as humans, we are like every time you see like a car in front of you just like puffing massive amounts of like dirt out, anytime you see anything that's like producing smoke into the atmosphere, or industrial farming situation or industrial mining.
All the data centers that are being built.
Yeah, data centers. I mean, our industrial production of beef is ruining the climate.
Hmm.
Okay, so just FYI, and it's like hurting these trees. And these are beautiful old trees that are needed and are amazing. I kind of got attached to them. I was like, I freaking hate this. I hate this that this
Yeah,
is happening.
crazy.
Yeah, it makes me mad. It makes me like I feel like what is it? Like radicalized. I'm radicalized by the baobab tree.
Yeah.
Like if I wasn't already, which I already was, but so let's face it. But this just made it this like put another little mark in that like
Honestly, though, it's like crazy. It's so out of hand.
it is. It is.
I gotta feed my wild squirrels. Hold on.
I love it. Well, I'll tell can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so the upside down tree, we'll talk about why this is like why it's called the upside down tree. So I told you before, or some stories about it, because there's not really stories from all sorts of like it's only really found in Africa, Madagascar, and Australia. So we don't see like stories from all over the place like we might see like I don't know, some of the other trees that just grow
Mhm.
that have an easier
Everywhere.
time in those colder climates.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but I've kind of organized it by the type of story that's being told. So the upside down tree is because it looks like the root system is in the sky, right? And like it's this big tree with a root system in the sky. So there's some stories that have to do with why it's like that. So one of them is that the god Thora didn't like Baobab growing in the heavenly garden. And so he pulled it up and threw it over the heavenly wall and it landed upside down.
How rude.
Rude. Exactly. So here's another one. When God made the baobab tree, it just kept walking. So he plucked it up and he turned it upside down so it couldn't walk anymore.
Nice.
Good one. So, God was planting all the trees and gave each animal like a tree for them to plant. And he gave the hyena the baobab tree. And the hyena didn't like it, so it stuck it in the ground upside down. Nasty little hyena.
All these stories are like so negative. Like God didn't like it and the hyenas didn't like it.
I know. Well, that's why it's upside down. They like had
Oh.
so here's a longer one. So and it's unhappy as well. Okay, so once upon a time, long ago, the first baobab tree grew beside a quiet lake and became unhappy after seeing its own reflection in the water. So it wasn't like these beautiful palm trees or the colorful flame trees or fruit bearing figs. So all the baobab saw was its thick trunk and its wrinkled bark and its tiny leaves and its pale flowers, and it became sad and bitter and ashamed. And it complained to the creator about its appearance and how unfair it was that it looked the way it did. So the creator was exhausted by this constant whining and complaining, which I understand. I would be
Hmm.
exhausted too by constant
Hmm.
complaints. And so the creator uprooted the tree and replanted it upside down so it couldn't admire or criticize itself in the lake anymore. And
Um,
since then, the baobab has stood in humble silence, becoming one of the most generous and useful trees in the world.
hmm.
There we go. So then we can talk about also the small seeds and the flowers. So it's said that that spirits live in the flowers, and if you pluck one, you'll be eaten by lions. So do not pluck those flowers, people,
Hmm.
against the rules.
Hmm.
And if you soak the seeds, which are the pips, the seeds in water, and if you drink it, you will become strong and you'll be protected from lions. So
Hmm.
alternatively,
Yeah.
yeah, whatever, we don't know. Don't pluck flowers, but get the seeds and
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
So in Madagascar, here's one from Madagascar, and this is like the actual tree they're talking about. So these trees become important because baobab trees they've been around forever and they're so big and so incredible that they become like the actual tree becomes part of legend and story. So this, like I said, specific tree is called the Baobab amaro. Okay, so and after this, I want to tell you the story. So really, it's two trees that twisted together, as you can see. So according to legend, a young man and women from neighboring villages fell deeply in love, but they had already been betrothed and promised to other people. So they through though forced to marry separately, they continued to dream of a life together and longed to share a child. In secret, they prayed to their God for a way to remain united forever. And their wish was granted when two baobab trees sprang forth side by side, growing together through the centuries as an eternal symbol of their love and devotion.
Hmm.
So sweet.
Nice.
And so, speaking of love, and this has nothing to do with anything except for love. Okay, I was at a graduation yesterday, and you know how they flash people's names up?
Hmm.
I saw I can't even get it out of my head. I love this name so much. So the last name was Moore, like Moore, and
Hmm.
the parents had named her Mia Moore.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh my world, Mia Moore, Mia Moore. I love that.
Oh, that's cute.
Anyway, so Mia Moore, this is the
Oh.
tree for Moore.
Oh.
So then, this is like a general African story. Mind you, Africa is vast. It's made up of many different countries. Like, I doubt this is like a general African story. Like, I don't know how many general African stories there are because it's like saying like a general Native American story.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
okay, are you talking about like the Waneno? Are you talking about the Navajo? Are you talking about like who are you talking about?
Yeah.
So this is what I saw. So I'm just repeating it, knowing that it likely arises from a specific country in Africa or people group. Okay,
Yeah.
because sometimes groups of people are not relegated to the nation states that they find themselves in. So they span nation states. So nation states are like a creation of yeah, anyway.
Mm.
So the jinns or spirits reside in the trees and they're either, depending on where you are, considered portals for the jinns or prisons. So you shouldn't go near the baobab tree at dusk. So there's often rituals are performed near the baobab trees and they are given offerings so that they can speak with the spirits of the tree. So there you go. So here in Nigeria, And I love these pictures that AI created for me.
Yeah.
That's a rad picture, by the way.
Mm.
And I love it. First of all, let me also say that I love that it didn't like whitewash the picture. Like
Mm.
it didn't like even that god that I thought kind of looked like a Greek god was like like he was brown. You know,
Mm.
thank goodness.
Yeah. Nice.
So in Nigeria, the Hausa tradition, I believe that's how you say it. Um, so like the baobab trees are feared because many regions believe that they're living, breathing, like they're actually alive. They're living, breathing beings. In Zambia, so this is actually a specific tree. The Kondanamwali tree is said to have swallowed up a group of maidens, so the locals don't go near it and don't touch it without a good reason.
Hmm.
So magical properties. Okay, so see, not very many. I mean, I couldn't really find. I don't know why there weren't a ton of stories, but you know what? There are a ton of. There are a ton of children's books about baobab trees.
Oh,
Like so,
interesting.
yeah. So if you want to like go get children's books and stories, they're like I don't know if they're actual stories from like Africa or Madagascar or Australia, but there's a lot of like children's fiction
Mhm.
that is about that, and probably because they're so unique and unusual, so
Yeah. Hmm.
and useful. So obviously wisdom. Any of these old trees are like going to be like sources of wisdom and strength in tough conditions because that's what it is. So if you need strength in tough conditions, and I want to tell you that I couldn't find Baobab products except for in Mountain Rose, they sell the oil.
Oh, okay.
So if you
Okay.
want Baobab oil, Mountain Rose does, and because we're going to find out that it's used for very specific things, but so
Hmm.
benedictions also. Wonder, it's a tree of wonder, obviously. Protection, it's a tree of protection.
Hmm.
And it's said to be a boundary marker between life and death. It also houses spirits, like we saw. Some say evil spirits.
Well.
Yes. And it's a tree, and we're going to find out why, of beauty and possibly glamour magic as well. So okay, so before we go on, so not a lot, like, and maybe I'm just not looking in the right places, or maybe I'm just not, it's just not for me to be part of like the magical properties of the baobab tree or even report on them.
Hmm.
I assume there's way more. I assume that like there's rituals that I'm not privy to that have to do with baobab, and I'm sure that in other parts of the world you can get access to many Baobab products that we don't have in America. I mean, maybe we can get them, but again, maybe I just don't know about them, and
Hmm.
I'm fine with that. Maybe they're just not for me to know about. How about that?
Yeah,
And
fair.
it's fine too. Okay. That's I'm fine. But regardless, I love the tree.
Hmm.
So now we're going to talk about the medical properties of the baobab. And as I always say, this is not to diagnose or to, if you think you have any of these problems, this is not to give you treatment options for your problem. Go seek a doctor.
Hmm.
So we're not doctors. This is for informational purposes only. So it is the baobab tree is an analgesic, an anti-inflammatory, an antipyretic, an immunostimulant, and antimicrobial, among other things. So it's used for the respiratory system, it's used for digestive ailments, it's used externally. So the paste from the fruit pulp is used externally. It's used for burns and skin rashes and insect bites, ulcers and mild infections. So you can make a decoction of the bark and you can use that for fevers, malaria, diarrhea or dysentery. There's more. So now we see the oil. So the oil comes from the seeds, and that is the thing that is kind of the most readily available, at least from what I could just my rudimentary search of like products, Baobab products, the oil came up a lot, and Mountain Rose carries the oil, which is really reputable. So
Mm. We do love Mountain Rose.
we do. It's just because it's, you know what, it's a reputable company. So
Yeah, and they seem to like they're mindful like when harvesting and things
yeah,
like that.
exactly. The whole thing.
Yeah.
So I feel comfortable. They're a little, they can be, I shouldn't say they tend to be, they can be a little bit more expensive, but
Mm.
well worth it. So, so the oil is used for eczema, dry psoriasis, even skin cancer. So
Interesting.
again, go see your dermatologist, but
Hmm.
squamous cell carcinoma can be helped with baobab oil.
Mm.
Acne, even sunburn, all those things. Bed sores, even
Mm.
scaly skin disorder, actinic keratosis, which I have no idea what that is, but if you know, you know. And
Mm.
also oral and dental cleaning.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
Like
this
oil
might,
pulling, probably.
yeah, probably. And maybe, I don't know, maybe with like a toothbrush. I don't know how it's used, but this is one of the things that I found.
Mm.
So the pulp and the seeds is used as an anti-parasitic for worms. So a vermifuge neutralizes strophanthus poisoning, and that is strophanthus is like a tree that like kind of, it almost seems like it stops your like it stops your heart or something. It's like,
Mm.
yeah, so this is supposed to neutralize it. I don't know, but it's used for that. The fruits are said to improve insulin and glucose response. The fruit is supposed to stimulate good bacteria in your gut, so that's positive. The extract of of fruit is said to protect against the proliferation of colon cancer.
Mm.
The leaves is so good for toothache and gingivitis. So that's that. And told you there wasn't a lot, but I got what I could get. And what I did realize is that I have huge like swaths of information that's not reflected in my book collection. And so you can see where I got this from and screenshot this, and you can go there and look at it. Um, so let me just stop sharing right now.
I was looking at the price of the oil on Mountain Rose because I was like, oh, I wonder if it's expensive because it's like there's not a lot of them, but it's the same price as jojoba oil, so
Yeah,
that's not
yeah,
bad.
yeah. It wasn't bad at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. And but I don't have any books on African trees and African herbs and like plants, which is
Yeah.
a little disturbing. I'd like to get some. I mean, I like to get, so if you love plants like we do, you probably love all plants like we do. Like I don't, I love all plants. And this one especially was like, I don't know why, but it got inside my heart. Like I loved it. It's so amazing. The baobab tree is rad.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Highly recommend you check it out if you're interested, and like and subscribe below if you liked our content. And that's it. Do you have anything more to say about that?
No, I like it too. I like that tree. It feels like gives like a very sturdy feeling, which I think also resonates very much with like the mother aspect of it. And yeah, I like it. You don't need any more. I'm sorry. No. Crazy squirrels.
Exactly.
Sit here.
Oh, oh, there it is. How cute. Well,
Hmm.
awesome. Well, so we will continue on, and Raven has a tree, and we will see you at the next Ditch Witch Diaries.